My name is Mark Ragan. I'm a graduate student at Liberty University. This is my interpersonal communication project. According to Stewart, communication is the continuous, complex, collaborative process of verbal and non-verbal meaning. Communication is integral for any relationship, be it at home, with friends, or at work. A deficiency in this skill can ruin relationships. Communicating effectively doesn't need to feel forced or unnatural. Communication involves more than just talking and listening. It's a matter of knowing how to send clear and concise message, being able to read others and empathize. Next slide. My overarching goal is to become more assertive and actively communicate my ideas toward individuals. This includes not being passive and not letting other people control a situation. Enlarging the conversation is a connection between our inner and outer worlds in which we make sense of our verbal and nonverbal listening skills, personal relationships, and perceptions of others' actions. Next slide. This list that shows my behavioral blend, both positive and negative, it shows how it has affected my conversation, both positively and negatively, and it uniquely determines my personality. Next slide. My CIS blend description of my personality describes me as having a strong people skills, and I'm outgoing and I can be reserved. People like my multifaceted flexibility. Now my IS personality describes me as more people-oriented than task-oriented. My lack of assertiveness has had a negative influence because of my resistance to being direct and demanding and in control of certain situations. My socialness and outgoing personality has made a positive impact to my conversation because of my enthusiasm and humble spirit when communicating. Next slide. My hearing disability greatly affects enlarging the conversation. The different theories presented work only for those who can hear. For example, Peterson mentions different techniques in his book. While good, with proven results, present a challenge to the hearing impaired. Next slide. The potential barriers in interpersonal communication. My hearing disability, this has had a profound effect on my communication skills. Being diagnosed with a severe to profound hearing loss makes communication a major barrier because we live in a hearing world. The other potential barriers are the 2 parental divorces that I have experienced as a child. This has created barriers by observing my parents communicate ineffectively and causing me to be less assertive. My 2 personal divorces, these life events have resulted in holding back from discussing issues for fear of angering or hurting others or discussing an issue that may result in argument. Next slide. The noise pollutions internally that affect me internally are my hearing disability, sometimes the emotional instability, confusing feelings, and my childhood experiences. As far as my external noises, sometimes the talker is not speaking loud enough, or there are loud noises, background noises, such as traffic and machinery that interfere with my hearing and interacting in a conversation. And there are also work pressures. Next slide. For the plan of action, Respecting my rights and the acts of others and standing my own ground will allow me two things. Number one, mental preparation by building confidence, asking questions, and building my self-esteem and self-worth. Number two, the development of behavioral skills that result in one being able to articulate what one wants or believes. So by talking to people who appear intimidating, discussing sensitive issues, and not being afraid to disagree. In summary, good communication skills are the foundation of all relationships. Interpersonal communication is important in how we interact with others, accomplish our goals, and establish good relationships. By enlarging the conversation, I will be more assertive and I will respond appropriately in my relationships. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation.